Hello everyone, today we're going to take a look at the Uzi versus the Megashark. Now these two are very similar weapons with a little bit of difference between them, but they do a ton of damage. The Uzi is dropped by angry trappers in the jungle biome, so it takes a while to farm these up, but it is possible and they are very awesome. The Megashark, however, is crafted by using Souls of Destruction from the Destroyer, so it may take a little bit longer to get, but again, it's on the same level and it is pretty awesome. Today we're going to do a simple breakdown to see which one does the best. First up in our comparison is the Uzi. It has a base 30 damage with 4% critical strike chance, very fast with weak knockback. Also, it shoots very powerful high velocity bullets even if they aren't high velocity, which makes this very interesting. So we're going to go ahead and get started. These can actually do a really good amount of damage. They're actually geared a little bit higher than the Megashark even though the rate of fire is very slow. As you can see, we're doing roughly around the mid 200 damage. It does fluctuate depending upon crits and everything else. It's said that crystal bullets actually bring out the best in the Uzi, though with this we're just using an endless musket bag to make things pretty simple for demonstration purposes. So it looks like we're pushing around 260, between 280, not too bad. There we go, up around 280 some, now we drop back down around 250. So pretty consistent. One thing about the Uzi that makes people a little bit nervous is the fact that sometimes the aim can be off. It does have a wide area of shot sometimes, so that can throw numbers off just slightly. Though again, it does have a higher base damage than the Megashark. So yeah, we're roughly tagging in around between 250 and 280, which is pretty good, again. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Megashark. It has a 25 base damage with 4% critical strike chance, insanely fast speed with extremely weak knockback. The one thing this has over the Uzi is the fact that it has a 50% chance not to consume ammo, which is actually very helpful, especially if you use things like Ichor bullets or anything else like that. So if you like using specialized bullets, this can be really helpful. And we're going to let this run for a while too. And as we can see, this starts off around the upper twos and it kind of just hovers back and forth. So again, it is very on the same line as the Uzi. It does touch up around an upper threes, so it does max out up there. The biggest difference here, again, is going to be the speed of the bullets. It's actually an insanely fast speed shot, so that's going to help DPS out a little bit here. But with a base damage of 25, yeah, we are definitely hitting up around the upper 200 range. The other thing to note, too, about this is the fact that the Megashark tends to shoot bullets in a more straight line than the Uzi. It has a more reliable shot, so it's going to be very helpful with that. Alright, so that's basically slightly higher than the Uzi. And again, we're just using plain musket balls, so there's no real benefit being brought out. The upper limit kind of tops out around the threes, the lower three, yeah. But other than that, it seems like it does a slightly better advantage over the Uzi. So next up, we're going to go ahead and do the Destroyer Challenge. We'll start off the beginning of the night and fight him. It's just turned night. We're going to go ahead and fire up the Destroyer. Our first test will be with the Uzi, so this is a little bit more of a real-world test. Actually, I want to go ahead and throw on our armor real quick, and we'll go ahead and get started here. Again, the Uzi isn't as fast as a Megashark, but it does do more damage, so it'll be interesting to see how this turns out. As you can see, already upper 200s, so it's right in par with what we were seeing earlier. I am using, by the way, the armor for... Actually, I'm using the Vortex armor, excuse me. So again, we're still seeing pretty high numbers here, which is good to know. This will buff our base damage slightly, so the Uzi may get a slight benefit from this. There we go, and then it looks like we're roughly, again, between the mid-twos up to around the mid-threes. Pretty wide area of range. It's kind of hard to tell. Of course, with all these little buggers around here, too, we're having a hard time, but... There we go, we had upper threes, now back down to the twos. And it seems like we've almost taken him down to about 16,000 hit points. Yeah, we got him down to almost 63. Still hitting up around the upper twos. 280, 260, 240. We're actually taking a lot more damage than I would like, but for the sake of testing purposes, we're going to hang in there and continue to roll with this. Now after this, what I'll do is the Pirate Invasion. We'll do the Pirate Invasion for more data. We'll try to collect more data that way. We can get rid of these buggers. These guys are like very persistent. Alright, so we're definitely spiking up around the mid 300s, about 350 at least. So we're pushing at 50,000 hit points. He's going down at a decent rate. Not too slow, but nothing too fast. We can already see that it's roughly, I'd say probably about maybe 9, 10 o'clock at night. It's kind of hard to tell since we don't have a watch in this game. But he is going down fairly decent. Goal here too would be nice not to die. But again, the damage we're seeing here is actually pretty decent as well. When we get consistent shots, the attack range is definitely within the mid-2s to the mid-3s, which is, again, good to see. Kind of hard to actually get a fair assessment after a while when we get under assault from these guys, but we're definitely looking pretty good so far with this. Everything's remaining consistent for the most part, so I would definitely say it's over 300 when we do this test. And again, we're not using crystal bullets, so we're not getting more power. We could get more power out of this if we use those bullets. So it's we're almost halfway through the night, and we got the destroyer down to what? 26, 25,000 hit points. We've chewed him down a pretty good bunch, considering he's at 80,000 hit points. So that's actually very good. And of course, we're trying to focus on these guys as well, because we do not want to die to any of the minions. There we go. And we got him around to what? 16,000? Still, again, we're hovering between those mid 200s. Once you get a pretty good run, yeah, we start shooting up to about the 3s again. Looks like we'll get him down just barely past midnight, which is really cool to see. So this will have some time to spare to do this. 10,000, very awesome. Very awesome to say the least. Look at that, 8,000, good stuff. We also have a pretty good stretch of attack right here. We've actually got a very good line of attack to keep it up on him. Like this. There we go. 5,000. You see that damage spiking up again a little bit here. Let's keep the pressure up a little bit more. It's very hard to get a strong beat on what this is going to be because, again, the range has been quite wide, but we do see that... Where you at? Come on. There we go. So, yeah, we definitely got within between... I'd say it's about roughly 300, because we have a wide range of attack here. And then the next test we will do will be our pirate invasion. Alright, next test we're going to do is a pirate invasion. This will see how we do in events. Should be pretty fun to do as well. Let's see what we have. So in the boss round, we actually seen a wide fluctuation of damage, of course, between the mid 200s and the mid 300s. So we basically call it around 300. Let's see what these guys have. This is going to have a lot more movement because, again, we're going to be under a lot more duress with all these mobs coming in, but we should be able to clean up pretty good. Of course, we got to make sure not to stand too still because, again, these guys got some pretty potent attackers in their event. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, really. So far, it's pretty... This maybe went up being lower than what we've seen in the boss fight. So yeah, we got upper 3s again. Well, it was mid 3s, upper... There we go. Now we're pushing up. If we get really close, we start seeing the numbers get higher. Alright, we don't attack the dummy. Get out of here. So, stops off at 263. So again, it continues to be in that same wide area. We're getting moving again. Can't stay too stationary. It's going to get a little more difficult. The biggest thing about this test is to not die. Of course, we keep getting shot at. This will be a true test to see how Uzi's accuracy is going to be on the go as we try to not get killed here. Things will drop here a bit because the area of attack is going to be different. There we go. We got up around 250. So that's pretty consistent with what we've seen so far. Once we get done this, we'll go back and do the test of the destroyer with the Megashark. We'll see where that goes. So we've gotten this down roughly 30%, 31%. And again, it's still remaining very similar. Once we go a little bit further out, we increase the cone of attack, and you can see a little bit of a difference here. I'm actually seeing a difference right now as my frames drop a little bit. That's a bit scary. Once we begin to pull back, we start seeing accuracy numbers. Once we begin to pull back, we start seeing accuracy drop, and the numbers start shifting a little bit. Then we see them drop into the 100 range. So that is a little bit discouraging. Again, it shows you the wide attack area the Uzi tends to have once you move out further. So go ahead and stay alive on this. But for the most part, if you can stay within a decent range, you can actually get a much higher rate of damage. Though with these guys, it's a little bit more difficult because pirate captains do a ton of damage. We're not trying to be a sing duck for him as the gunners they have in this event. Oh gosh. So we're still doing around 250 at least. Shooting in large areas, we're going to see the numbers spike up a little bit too as well. Of course, with more targets, which means less area we'll miss on. And it looks about good for what it is. It's going to drop down roughly around to the upper ones. Of course, being this type of event as it is, it's kind of hard to stand still without getting shot up. We're not trying to die here. Get out of here. Again, some of these mobs aren't exactly very strong either, so this gun does tear through them pretty quickly. There we go. Not too bad. Overall, it does tend to drop into the 100 range. Then it'll shoot back up once you start getting more targets on the screen. But other than that, it's about right. It's on par for what it is. Again, it's very hard to stay consistent with this because you're constantly moving. And, of course, the gun's range itself. The accuracy is going to be a little bit of a challenge once you go further out. Not too bad. So, again, it's roughly around that same range area. I'll try to finish up these guys right here. We're almost done this event. Not too shabby. Again, we push around that 250, 300 area when things are pretty straightforward. When things get a little bit more hectic, we see it drop to around 150, maybe a little bit less than that. But overall, it's still pretty consistent with what we've seen so far. So next, we're going to start off with a Megashark and see where this goes. Alright, Megashark versus the Pirate Invasion. Let's get this started and see how it turns out. So, we've already seen the numbers for the Uzi. Let's see how they shake up against this. And so far, with a lot of movement, I gotta say, it's looking pretty interesting. There we go. We've got a very fair, easy way of killing mobs there. We push right up to the mid-3s really quick. Again, that's because of that fast, rapid rate, and just not really moving much. Now we start to see the drop as well. We are using plain muskets for this. We do have an endless musket bag, so there's no extra being handed over to any gun. We're not playing favorites here. We're just trying to see which one does the most during certain events. So again, once we actually get close, once we get closer too, there seems to be definitely a discrepancy with range. So if you can get closer, like right here, we definitely begin to see a much better, higher DPS range than we would if we were further apart. Again, it's very similar for the most part, and for this, we're not even really moving. So this is going to skew the numbers in Megashark's favor here a little bit. Okay, maybe even slightly a little bit higher, again, because we didn't have to move. That makes things a little bit more different. With Uzi, we were constantly moving, so we didn't get the opportunity to see something like that. I wouldn't put too much stock in the numbers where we're just standing still, because that's going to be very few and far between. It's also a very dangerous game you're playing right there as we get rocked, of course. Once you start moving and everything, that's pretty much going to be your real world situation right there. So we really can't derive much off of just standing still. See if we can get back and get some revenge for our death. So many critters during this event. So many critters. And again, we get the luxury of standing still, and then of course Pirate Captain does not like that, so we cannot stick with that too much. The biggest thing, of course, being knockback as well. We get very little to no knockback from this. We did at least get some knockback, even though it wasn't a whole lot from the Uzi. It was still something. As we're 60%, let's go ahead and see how we do against Flying Dutchman. Again, the other thing, too, to note is that the Uzi, because of its higher base damage, is going to have a slight advantage over heavier armored mobs, especially situations like the Flying Dutchman. Again, if we get close, we get that advantage of doing more damage, but if we get further out, it's a little bit more different. For this, we're going to try to stay a little bit further out and see where this goes. Not too shabby. I think part of the reason why numbers here are looking a little bit bigger for Megashark is, again, because of that wide area of attack that Uzi has. And of course, me missing right there does not help matters whatsoever. They do have very big fluctuations in damage when we get at a further range, but more so it seems that the Uzi gets affected than the Megashark. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. We have the Destroyer. I'm not certain what time this is going to be, but we should be able to just wreck this guy, right? So we heal. There we go. Again, same thing. No special bullets. We're under regular bullets from an endless musket bag. We're just going to try to go ahead and take him down. Plenty of probes to go around here. These are the most annoying part of the Destroyer. It's got plenty of mobs down here. Okay, so again, we're definitely starting to see mid 200s up around close to mid 300s at one point. Again, that's because the accuracy is much more dependable in the Megashark than it is in the Uzi. It doesn't have that wide cone like the Uzi does. Oh my gosh. Once we get in closer, numbers go a little bit further up before coming back down. So we did touch on close to 380 with this. Oh my goodness. Range, definitely a huge deciding factor if you want to get more. So clearly right then and there, if you want to get more damage out of any of these guns, always get close. Though it kind of defeats the purpose of being ranged, right? So that's something to look at right there. I get the feeling, though, we may be at a bit of a disadvantage because we have a lower base damage, and the Destroyer has a much higher damage compared to the other mobs we've fought so far, especially in the Pirate Invasion. So I think this is another accurate way to take a look at things. And not too bad, between mid 200s and mid 300s. All depends on what we get. Once we start getting mobs close up, I did see a 4 in there. But we're not really getting him down fast. It's actually, it's almost, yeah, it's just past the middle of the night, so that's not good. We've only got him down to 5,200, I mean, 52,000. Oh my goodness, excuse me. So right then and there, we're starting to see a bit of a disadvantage here with the Megashark and the Destroyer. Now again, these are regular muskets. If you had something like crystalline bullets, that would make things a little bit easier for this gun. Again, we've seen damage range widely here. Let me grab some health, please. Thank you. Once we get closer, we start seeing them numbers spike again. Once we start getting flooded by the probes, we start seeing them numbers spike again too, because we get close to 400. But, again, that low base damage is hurting our cause right here because we are having a very difficult time keeping up. It is already past half the middle of the night, so now we're only at 40,000 hit points. We may not be able to finish this test with the Destroyer. That's unfortunate. And the reason why we are actually seeing these bigger spikes with the Megashark is, again, because we get close range with these little probes. And they are kind of throwing our numbers off just slightly. But the biggest thing here is, look, yeah, at this point in the night with the Uzi, we have actually defeated the Destroyer. At this point, we are at, what, 34,000. So we got it more than halfway, but we've already taken longer doing this than we did with the Uzi. So start seeing, again, those low to mid 300s there. We got close in battle. Please get out of here. We need to, like, really get close in. We got 28,000 left. Time is running out. Time is running out. There's our 3. There we go. We got numbers a little bit higher, but at the same time, we're only 25,000 in. Well, 25,000 out, 24,000 out. And come on. 20,000. Already, it's clearly taking a lot longer to take down the destroyer than it has with the Uzi. 19, there we go. And again, we're taking advantage of the closeness here with the destroyer, so that's going to give us a higher skewed number as well. Round 3. $13,000. Can we do it in time? Can we do it in time? Because we're running out. 11,000. Yeah, 10,000. This is going to be very close. 8,000. We're pushing in toward the mid to upper 200s. We really need to finish this test up. Really need to finish this test up. 4,000. There we go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're getting close. Trying to get that kill. 3,000. I think we're going to get it, but it is... Yeah, it's under 1,000. There we go. We got it. We got it. But boy, did we cut it insanely close. So why do the numbers... Hold on. Got one little critter here. Why the numbers get bigger at some points with the destroyer compared with the Uzi? Well, with the closeness of the attack, some of the attacks with the probes, again, we were able to take advantage of some of that, but as we've seen, how long it's take during battle, the Uzi clearly gets an advantage because it does do a higher base damage. It's more geared toward as it just turned daytime. We literally had like under a minute to finish that fight. So yeah, compared to Uzi with the Megashark, the Uzi's fight, we had a pretty good chunk of night left, where Megashark, we needed pretty much the whole entire night. Again, numbers may have looked good, but at the same time, that's only because the closest to the probes, the rapid fire and everything, it just brought everything in. Though while we were doing a lot of damage in short bursts, overall we weren't doing a lot of damage compared to the Uzi. So overall, I mean, my opinion is going to be I love the Megashark, but if you want to do damage, if you want to go ahead and do a ton of damage to bigger bosses, I think the Uzi is very good. If you want to maximize the Uzi's damage, you have to get in close, because again, it does have a wide cone of attack, but getting close with the Uzi, and you should be able to do more damage. Same thing with the Megashark. I'd say they're both very close, but if you can't get the Megashark, don't be afraid to farm a little bit for the Uzi. The Uzi is definitely worth it. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Hope you found this video informative. If so, please be sure to rate it. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Which one do you like, the Megashark or the Uzi? They're both pretty cool weapons. One you craft, one you farm. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and I'll see you again next time. The video's over, but there's more where that came from. Be sure to subscribe for more Terraria Let's Plays, Top 5s, and other videos as well as we cover different titles. You can click on one of the videos here for more. Be sure to rate this video accordingly, as it helps the channel out greatly. Have yourself a wonderful day, and I will see you again next time.